Where is your head with all of this? Yours too, Adam. Where are we going with this?
Well, this is where I'm at with it, actually. Listening to Calla there, and I know that he was talking about, it's down to Chris if he wants to take the fight or if he doesn't want to take the fight, and it's all about the finances. But we've got to think about the health of the fighters as well, right? And where I'm a little concerned in all this is that Chris Eubank Jr. was told that he had to make an unrealistic weight of 157, which is 3 pounds below what he normally boxes at, and he's tight at 160. So 157, I'm thinking, wow, they're going to have to really monitor this, because I'm living proof. I know how tough it is to make weight, and what can happen if you don't make that weight right.
Yes.
Yeah. And so I'm looking at that going, 157, wow, that's going to be really difficult. They're holding a gun to his head. And then on the flip side, we're hearing now that Conor has taken his fertility drug, the fertility drug which increases the testosterone levels by about 600% or so. So it increases the muscle mass and effectively will make him stronger. And you're going, well, that's not really balancing up right for me now, because they've held him to this 157. And that's my problem in all of this. And they're saying to him, you can't come over 158 or the fight's off, etc., etc., etc. And now this has come to light. So it doesn't put boxing in a good light, if I'm totally honest, where we're at with it all.
Should the fight go ahead, Spencer?
As it stands right now, I don't think it should, no.
Adam?
No. I think what it's highlighted this week is that we've got a major systemic failure with the way that we not only flag up positive tests and situations like this, but the way that we process them as well. We're in a situation right now where one of the leading promoters in the country is currently having legal discussions to try and overturn the opinion of the sanctioning body in British boxing, with the British Boxing Board of Control, who said yesterday that they prohibit this fight. They don't want to sanction the fight, but they are in legal discussion right now in order to get that overturned. And the chances is that he's going to be successful. The promoter's going to be successful.
Is that what you're hearing?
Well, if you actually look into the nooks and crannies of this, and I know this is confusing for the non-boxing fan, because what you've got is several parties that test fighters around the world. VADA is the gold standard. I don't care what anybody says. It is boxing specific. It is catered purely for boxing. Voluntary anti-doping. Yes, you've got to volunteer for it. Yes, you've got to sign up for it. And yes, it costs you money. That is what Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn both signed up for. VADA adhere with the WBC clean boxing programme. That is the test that Conor Benn has failed, which is boxing specific. UK anti-doping are the testing body that the British Boxing Board of Control use. UKAD is not boxing specific. It is sport specific. It tests its table tennis stars the same way that it will test its boxing stars.
Right, got you.
All right?
Yeah.
So they work with the British Boxing Board of Control, and according to Eddie Hearn and Calla Sowland yesterday, when they put out their statement, Conor Benn has passed his UKAD tests. Well, my first question is, when were the UKAD tests? How big of the gap between the UKAD test and the VADA tests did they take place? Was it a day, 2 days, a week, 3 weeks? What was the situation there? And why, if we are volunteering to sign up for a voluntary anti-doping test, why are we ignoring the findings?
Absolutely.
Why are we deciding, whoa, hang on a minute, that doesn't fit my narrative. I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to use these rules over here. Why sign up for it in the first place?
Well, why did the British Boxing Board of Control
use UKAD,
not recognise VADA?
I really don't know, if I'm totally honest, because VADA, as we've seen Eddie say in previous interviews, that VADA is actually the main drug testing. And
they all adhere,
just
on that, they all adhere to the World this is getting even more confusing, they all adhere to the World Anti-Doping Association, as do UKAD. So UKAD adhere to World Anti-Doping, VADA adhere to World Anti-Doping. There are different turns along the way with certain drugs.
There's no indication that the efficacy of a UKAD test is anything different to the VADA test. There's a timing indication here.
Yeah.
Because what we've got is a test that's been taken in August. The results have come back in September. With a B test, that no one seems to be clear on what's happened with that B test. And let's be clear, 99.9% of B tests are exactly the same as the A test.
But why is it taking so long for the B test to come? What I'm saying is,
that's what I'm saying about
but
that's what I'm saying about the systemic failure. That's what I'm saying. That's allowed to happen because it's a voluntary situation.
Because nobody's interested in the B test. The promoters are not interested in the B
there
test. This is a bottom line situation where...
But surely they're being pressured into that, Simon.
Well, the promoters, we'll look at that in a second, but reputationally, this is toxic. Wassermans are a big business. They're looking at this through... Kelly Sala's at the front of this, but Wassermans are the boxing agency behind Chris Eubank. You've got DAZN, You know, look at the dynamics of that. What broadcaster wants to touch a fight like this? Maybe there's reasons why they continue to broadcast it, because they need the numbers. I don't know. These are all discussions that we can have. But what we've got, undoubtedly, we've got legal intricacies and mechanisms being deployed to overcome a failed drugs test. That's
Sure.
it. That's
Yeah.
all there is to it.
Yeah.
All the other narrative, all the other rhetoric, all the other clever hyperbole, that is the bottom line. A failed drug test is going to be overcome potentially by an injunction against the British Boxing Board of Control to make them look like eunuchs in their own country, at the same time as putting on a fight that's been compromised.
I think Simon's just nailed it. That's the absolute nub of the matter. Now, Spencer, you think, and you love your sport, of course you do. You're working it all the time. You think on this occasion the fight shouldn't go ahead. Adam, I have to put you in the spot. You're as committed as anybody in the field of boxing and commentary. Do you think it should go ahead?
No, absolutely not. There's no way that this fight should go ahead. But the thing that is obviously upsetting me and making me feel the way that I'm feeling is because I'm 99% certain that it will go ahead.
Isn't the Boxing Board of Control's failure to recognise VADA is because they just give a result. They don't have hearings.
Correct.
They don't suspend fighters. They just give a
They
result.
present the results.
And
Yeah.
UCAD does something different.
Yeah,
Isn't
sure.
that the underpinning structure as to why there's a difference?
That is totally it. But the result is the result, isn't it?
Absolutely. But it doesn't suit this people.
No, absolutely.
This result is not interesting.
Absolutely.
It doesn't
but,
suit people.
You know, we've got to think of the consequences here as well, you know, going into this contest, like I say, with what Eubank's been held to with this weight restrictions, etc., etc. I mean, it could put a really grey area over the sport of boxing.
Oh, it not could.
It is.
Is.
Yeah.
We're being dragged through the mud.
Yeah.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.